Welcome to Subramani. Please hit the bell icon. Please subscribe if you have not already subscribed. I have no payment options, right? You cannot pay money and become my subscriber. It's a free subscription. A lot of people otherwise say like my video, subscribe to my video. It is only 140 rupees per month. I have no subscription base. I have no pretensions that people will come pay money and watch my content, right? If I do a workshop, people pay and come. Yes, I agree. But for my content, for people to pay, I don't have so much of an ego to think people will come and pay money to watch my content. I'm very happy that you're coming and giving me your time, right? If you're giving me 10 minutes every day or maybe 20 minutes every day, if you watch 2 videos, it's amazing. I'm so happy that you're giving me your time. I'm not expecting to get paid, and I don't think I will ever go paid, right? I have enough money to live the rest of my life. I lead a simple life and I have money for that. Yeah, I take expensive vacations, but nothing beyond that, nothing other than that do I have to spend money on. One amazing thing which in Mahabharata, there is this Yaksha Prashna, where the Yaksh asks questions. To cut a long story short, 4 of his brothers are lying there dead. And Yudhishthira is being asked questions. So he asks him, which is the most amazing thing. So he says, well, people plan their life as though they are permanent, as though they are not going to die. They don't even know whether they will die tomorrow, and they go about planning their lives. So, which is the first question, I think, in Yaksha Prashna. It's a beautiful book. It's lying somewhere here. It's a beautiful book. You must read it. Some Sharma seems to have written it. I don't remember. But if you go to the original Mahabharata, you will find Yaksha Prashna in a lot of detail. This apart, so this was told by Yudhishthir, okay, nobody less than Yudhishthir said this. And afterwards, after he became the king, after he becomes the king, after the war, he's sitting there, and one man comes and asking for alms, and he says, Yudhishthir says, come tomorrow morning, I will give it to you. And Bhima laughs out loud and says, my brother is the greatest. He has conquered time. उसने अपने काल को वश में कर लिया है, right? He's conquered time. And so Yudhishthir looks a little perplexed, and he says, Yudhishthir, how do you know you're going to live tomorrow morning? You're asking him to come tomorrow morning to get something. How do you know you're going to live tomorrow morning? Funnily, that's how we have to live our lives, right? We have to live our lives in a way that tomorrow morning will be awake, right? So if you want curd tomorrow, you take some milk and you put some little curd into it, and you make it into a curd, hoping that tomorrow you will eat it. You cannot wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, last night I thought I'll die, so I didn't prepare. So you have to be prepared for life and prepared for death. Being prepared for life means buying a pension plan. What if I live too long? What if I live till the age of 90, 95, 100, whatever, 114, whatever the number. So I need to buy a pension plan which will never go to zero, because it will always pay me a pension as long as I'm alive. That's how pensions are priced. But it does not mean that I will not die. So I have to take term insurance. If I'm young, if I'm say 30 years of age and I have a family, I have a wife, I have 2 children, I have parents whom I'm supporting, then I need term insurance. That's a big thing, because if I die, who's going to pay for all that? So I need to have term insurance, and I need to have pension plan. I keep saying, if you don't know whether you're going to die early like Sanjeev Kumar or live long like Dilip Kumar, you have to take both. You have to take a term insurance and you have to take a pension plan. But far more important, which people don't realize, which people don't accept, and which people don't do, is to make a will. Saying, oh, I'll make, what is the hurry? Recently I lost a friend, and 10 days before his death, we spoke about him making his will. I'm sure if I had said make it today, he wouldn't have done it. He loved procrastination. So now he has died without making a will. And his wife will go through the rigmarole of spending at least 5 lakhs to get the house in her name, to get some of the shares that he has in his name and all that, right? So there is going to be some headache and pain. How much would it have cost him to make a will? Maybe 10,000 rupees, right? Well, people live and learn, people die and learn, people die and teach rather than people live and learn. So that's what really happens. So one question which people ask is, do I need a will if I am single and have nobody in life, and I really don't care what happens to my property after I die? It's a very good question to ask, and I met only one such person who has nobody in life, absolutely nobody. He's a single child, no brother, no sister, parents have died. He has one first cousin who is in Australia, with whom he's not really much in touch. So, in fact, while filling up his form for mutual funds, he asked me, whom should I nominate? And I had no answer because he had to nominate somebody. So I said, no nomination required, just leave it as it is. So he had, I have no clue what he's going to do with his money. So he asked me this question, do I need to make a will? I said, do you need to make a will? Maybe no. But do you need to create a trust? I said, yes, you need to create a trust, because if you create a trust and put all your assets in that trust and you make somebody, maybe me, the executor, the advantage is if you are unwell, if you are lying, if he is dead, it doesn't matter who takes away his house, who takes away his mutual funds, and he's got some property. Not much, maybe 5 crores, but he's got something, right? So he has not got married, and so he's got a house which is worth maybe 2 crores and he's got mutual fund portfolio worth about 3 crores. So I'm saying approximately 4-5 crores to hoga, including the house. So I said, well, somebody will take it, so it doesn't matter who takes it. But I said, if you are dead, it doesn't matter, but if you're unwell, if you're lying in the hospital, maybe you're in coma, maybe you're not in coma, maybe you're just unwell, but somebody has to take those decisions, right? So who is going to take those decisions? He needs to have a living will to tell the doctors how he has to be treated, because what happens is the doctor turns to the wife or the husband or the children and asks, should we put him in a ventilator? Should we pull him out of a ventilator? Should we shut off the ventilator? These are all questions which somebody from the family has to answer. If there is no family, who is going to answer those questions, right? And who is going to pay the bills? Which hospital will admit you if they don't know who is going to pay the bills? It is easy for you to say, I'm going to charge it on my credit card. Fantastic, but who has got the code? Right? So nobody has a code for your, there has to be some PIN code, some 4-digit number which allows you to use the credit card, right? So you can't just swap the credit card, then you will get maybe you'll get an SMS on your phone, right? So something like that will happen, then that code will have to be given for it to be charged. So people can't just use your credit card, right? And your credit card will have a limit. So there may be a limit of 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs on your credit card. You've got 3 crores worth of mutual funds lying there. So somebody can use that 3 crores to fund your medical treatment. But who is going to do all that? So therefore, even if you're single and you have nobody in life, there's nobody who's bothered about whether you're dead or alive, and nobody cares what you're going to do with your money, you still need a trust. Right? You of course need a will, but remember, will comes into play only after your death. If you're not dead and you need access to your money and you are not able to access it, you're lying in bed, you're in coma, you're not in coma, you can't sign, you can't operate a phone, you're unwell, how are you going to access your money? So you need this person who could be a friend, philosopher, guide, lawyer, chartered accountant, somebody with whom you sit down and you make a will, and you also make a trust deed saying, here is an irrevocable trust deed or a revocable trust deed. Don't worry too much about taxation, how the trust will be taxed, what will be the administrative expenses. You need it, because only when you make a living will and a will to what happens to all your property, best is for you to make a will, a living will, and have an executor. But here is the catch: if the executor is the person who is going to inherit all the wealth after your death, there is some incentive for him to make sure that you die. So you have to be very careful. You need maybe 2 people, one person who is the executor and one person who is the beneficiary. It need not be the same. Then perhaps your chances of surviving during that bad phase is higher. Second, it is also necessary even for a person like this to have some medical insurance, simply because if the person who is executing the will thinks, why should I spend 9 crores, why should I spend 9 lakhs on this guy's medical treatment? If I don't spend, I get the whole thing. So he says, I don't want to spend, right? So you don't want that to happen. Suppose you have 10 lakhs of medical insurance, he'll say, it's okay, spend it on them because I'm going to collect the 9 lakhs anyway, so it doesn't matter. So you're giving an incentive for that person not to spend on you by not having medical insurance. Sounds very morbid, but remember, we are in this day and age, you need to have money and you need to have protection for your money. So I would think you get in touch with some friend, colleague, some faraway cousin, some lawyer, somebody with whom you said make a trust, make a will, and maybe you want to give it away to charity. That's fine, because you don't really care whether it goes to a charity, whether it goes to somebody, or whether it goes to the government of India. Ultimately it will go to the government of India if there is nobody whom they can trace, to whom they can give away the money. So I have nothing against what happens to you after your death, especially if you're single, but making a living will as to how your money should be used for yourself when you are unable to sign a check or things like that is important. So that has to be somebody whom you know, some friend, somebody from where, somebody whom you can pick up, and keep a liberal remuneration for that person, but don't let that person be the inheritor. Keep a very liberal compensation of maybe 1 lakh per month or something like that, because you really don't care about what happens to your assets after you die. So if you have a big amount of money, let's say in this case, I don't want to name him, of course, he has about 5 crores and he is about, I think, 66, 67 years of age. So somebody is going to inherit that money. I know it's not me, but yeah, you need these documents even if you are single. Thank you.